Hi, welcome to Business Doctor. Today we are going to open up a new series on manufacturing and ERP related topics. And this is the first or introductory kind of video I'm trying to share it with you. This topic is a ocean by itself, and each of the subtopics, what we are going to cover in this will take a longer period of time, and I would like each one of you viewers to be following up on this and give your comments, suggestions, or advice as it deemed to be fit. And this is applicable for those who are into manufacturing, either as an employee or as an entrepreneur by yourself. And we are going to start it with at a high level, and I'm trying to give you a small example, and so that we can always come back to this example to refer to illustrate any points. So that is the exercise I am taking on myself to help you with the understanding of the entire manufacturing and the related areas that includes IT, information technology, or any other technology as we are going to discuss down the line. This is in addition to what we have been covering it up in the channel or the page for self-improvement, business, and whatever the playlist we have. This is the first of the kind of the video on this specific area, and hope you watch this and get benefited. So now let's get on to the discussion. Uh, so the typical manufacturing or business landscape from a entrepreneur point of view is that uh, you will see something similar to this in whichever company you are working, or if you are going to start something on your own. We will discuss each of these points, and it is not fully covered. It is just a representative in a particular dimension, like it could be a departmental or functional, or it could be a combination of this. So that's how this is projected, at this point in time. And let's start with assume you are trying to produce a component or a product. We call anything which goes out of the company, we call that as a product to your customer, because you are not selling any services here. You are selling a component, and typically in manufacturing people call as components, but I mean, for the sake of covering both entrepreneurs as well as employees, anything that goes out of the company to a customer we call as a product. Okay, with that understanding, let's dive deep into this. Uh, so product is the one which is going to be given to customer in exchange of getting a monetary benefit. So that is the product. So in order to produce the product, okay, you need to have quite a few things at your place. So before we get on to that, the moment an individual decides to do this product and sell it to somebody, uh, then he will definitely have to have a company, whether it is a private company or it is entrepreneur, proprietary company, or is a partnership kind of a company. Yeah, definitely you would require a company, because in this entire manufacturing, except for the end user products, everything else comes under B2B scheme of things. So in a business to business, you would be asked to have a company in some form, and once you have the company, you need to have a board. Board is again private limited or a public limited company's concept, but still, board in this case is that the one who runs the company. You take it that way. And in order to produce this product, you would require finance. Finance includes any capital, any debts, any revenues, everything together, including expenses, of course. So finance is required to start up in terms of capital, in terms of debt, whatever it is. So finance is required. So once the company is formed and the company directors, for example, have the required finance at hand, then they should look at, why they are trying to do that particular product. Okay, so they should be thinking in terms of solving some problem. If it is a B2B space for your customer, what is the problem you are trying to solve? Okay, for example, somebody may be producing an engine, somebody may be producing a chassis, or somebody may be producing a tire, or it could be anything which you see, which you can visibly see, something has to be produced. So that means there is a utility value for that. And if you are in the B2B space, depending upon the value chain you are in, so to that extent you are trying to solve the problem for your customer. So that means you need to have some kind of vision in terms of what problem you are trying to solve for either the society at large or for your customer. So why you are doing all that? Because somewhere up in the chain, either the final manufacturer of the product sells to the consumers. Consumers are nothing but the people in the society. So from that perspective, you need to have a very clear understanding of what the society wants. That the society does not mean that it is only filled with consumers. That the human resource come from the same society. So your employees, staff, or anybody who also comes from the same society. So that is the balancing act any entrepreneur would like to have at the start of this. And once the company is formed, and the in order to manufacture this particular product, okay, there are different kinds of uh, uh, these boxes, whatever these represent, different kinds of activities or functions or value chains the company has to undertake or go through. So I'm not going to discuss that in the order in specific, but I'm going to tell you this because this is the first session on this topic. So I'm going to just give you some heads up to that. Suppose this is a product which you are designing for yourself and you are going to impress upon your customer, then you need to have some kind of research and development. You need to have then you need to have some engineering activities around that, then come out with the kind of pilots or prototypes, and before you convert that into a product. Each word is heavily loaded and you need to remember that, and each one would take quite a long time to describe and to understand and for you to even practice it. So listen very carefully for each of the words. So the moment you have the design in place, then you need to have you need to produce requires a manufacturing or a shop floor kind of an activity, and you need to have a production, and sometimes it may require heat treatment, like where you need to heat treatment is a specific case because there is quite a lot of risk hazards there, so you need to have a specific kind of processes for managing the heat treatment. So I'm just calling out there. And once you have the manufacturing shop floor, then you need to produce something, right? So there is a concept called production engineering, as people call it. It requires quite a lot of planning and control and it requires execution. So and it has to be done on a day-to-day basis. This includes the equipments you are going to use. You are going to use the kind of raw materials, and it may be a work in progress item you may have, and everything needs to be stored in a place called stores. Like it could be a material warehouse, material store, or a warehouse store, and then you will have a function to dispatch these items or these components appropriately. You need to send it to your customer or to your vendor, or it may be for internal use, and it may be you may be getting it from an internal department or a function or from a machine, and then you may have to give it back to another person in the same or different shop floor. So there are quite a lot of activities around that store, and in all the places where this requires a kind of quality control. I'm just taking a word quality control because there are quite a lot of things that have gone by in the last 2 3 decades. I'm just giving you an illustration of what I here mean by quality in terms of production, in terms of assembly, and in case if it is being supplied by a third party, it can be a contractor or a supplier. Then you need to have a quality control or inspection on that. But today's concepts include this quality as part of the design itself, so that there are a lot of systems like Pokayoke and kind of a thing, where when you are designing itself, you will ensure that certain things cannot go wrong. Those things we will discuss in the coming videos. But for now, you take it like you need a quality or inspection control which needs to cut across these things. And sometimes you may not produce in all the components in your shop floor, because obviously you need to buy your raw materials from somebody. Most likely it will be like that. So somebody should be a vendor for you in order to supply those items. So that requires a whole lot of purchase function, not only for your raw material or any other intermediary components which you are going to procure from a vendor or a supplier. So once you do all that, there will be a set of people who are called stakeholders in this context, who would be interested in the overall delivery of the product to the customer. So the heads of the department, for example, and it goes with the function of the product or the life cycle of the product itself. So if the product is at the conceptual stage, then the design engineer or the R&D head will play a major role. Whereas if it is on a stable state, then it will be at a different stages. You will have the stakeholders from production, quality, and from sales. Sales is a different context. Sales is very tricky in a B2B scenario compared to B2C. In fact, each one has got its own plus and minus, but because it is derived, right? So from the original guy to this guy, this is a derived. So each company, when it subcontracts, they will have 3 or 4 vendors or multi-vendor concepts, for example. So you won't buy anything from the same person, or you won't take a bet on a same person to supply all your needs. So from that perspective, you would be also a supplier to somebody in your value chain, or up in the value chain rather. So like you, there will be another 2 3 people who are doing this. So from that perspective, how do you do the forecasting? And if that requires, then you need to have an element of marketing, which is quite different from a B2C marketing. And when there are issues like post delivery, if there are any issues in your product, then how do you handle that? How do you rectify? So that is also another inspection process which you have to do, and you may have to do it at a customer side, you may have to do it at your side, and you may have to do it at a vendor side. So this is how the whole spectrum spans across. So this is the business landscape which we will be discussing, and this is not just the complete and comprehensive setup. This is just for illustration, and we are going to take up a small sample with this. Look at this. So this is a small pen. On the left side, you see that the colors. It is in red color. You can see. I'll show you the video in a moment. And so if you look at this, you have a pen which has got a tip, and there is a cap to that, and there are something now marked on that. So from that marking, uh, that is on a cylindrical shape. So somebody has to print it or fit it accordingly. And there are two things. Now I'm going to call it as a variance for now. This is the product. Assume you are going to manufacture at your factory. Then how do you do that? So here, if you look at this video, this is just a red color pen or red color marker, if you want to call that way, and you can see that there is a marking there. There is a cylindrical portion, and which inhouses the ink, and that ink has to be dispensed. So that dispensing, if you look at this is same for both blue and red. Okay, and if you look at that way, there are a lot of structures around the cap, and there is also a particular shape by which the ink is getting dispensed, where you actually write on the board. So this is quite different, and we will take these uh, two pens, the blue one and the red one, as a case study. We are not going to discuss how to manufacture it in real terms, but that is for illustration purposes. We will take these two as a case study, and we will try to cover as much as possible. But our discussions are not limited to only this pen. Okay, you are free to think, whatever you have, whatever you could see, whatever you have it at your hand, or in your offices, or wherever you are. You could be, or at home, where you will be seeing quite a lot of things, like for example doors, for example you have a stand. You may have a lot of things like a window, anything. You can see, there are a lot of grills, for example. You have glasses, you have so many things, which you can see, which you can touch and feel. So just think about how to manufacture those things, assuming you are going to be manufacturing that. Okay, so you take from that perspective, and we will try to cover as much as possible using this as a case study. Okay, and it's not a comprehensive. I just repeat, it is not complete comprehensive. It is only for illustration. So from that perspective, uh, we'll be taking up on this point. And remember, there are quite a few things which I have not discussed here at the start, because you have complete logistics. You have from end to end, and the production management. You have operation technology, manufacturing engineering executions, or manufacturing execution systems. We call as MES or OT or IT. IT itself is a ocean by itself. Okay, so each one is a huge topic. We will try to cover Definitely this will take quite a long time, but at the same time, when you try to understand what I'm trying to tell you and map it with a real time example and come along, as the business doctor channel always says that it is a think along, come along session. So you come along with me and see that how you are able to run your business or how you are able to do your job in your current role or your future role as appropriately. If you have any questions, any suggestions, please do comment and let me try to answer you in the next video or try to answer in the social media as much as possible. And at the same time, you need to apply your sense of reading, understanding, and try to practice wherever it is possible, or at least Google it and find out and to get the more details of it so that you can fare better at your goals. Thank you for watching this, and this is just a beginning. As I said, we'll see you in the next upcoming videos. And this ERP is the new topic, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please do stay with me for long. Thank you for your support. Have a nice day. Cheers.